stadium. What's the name of the stadium?
San Mans.
San what?
San Man.
San Man.
Estadio San Man. That's how you say it. Spanish.
Estadio San Man.
San Man.
Yeah, I thought you were saying Big Sam. You know what I mean? Anyway, right, there's a club shop. We're at Athletic Club.
Oh,
a
well
club
done.
that's steeped in history. You know what? Remember, this club, you can only play for this club if you're from the Basque region. If you're not from the Basque region, you can't play for them. So it's all unlucky, mate.
Basque or Basque?
Basque.
Basque. Tomato.
Basque.
Got some fat. Rob, look, here we go.
Hello. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm
How are you?
good.
So as you can see, we've arrived. We've got to do a film a preview, but Robbie's got to do all of this stuff and whatnot. You know, just forgetting that he has to actually do a preview for you guys. So let's get into the preview. Hi, welcome to AFTV. Join us for the preview of the Champions League fixture. Now, I couldn't find anything to rhyme with club. Obviously, they wouldn't be known as Athletic Club now. So it's Arsenal taking on Athletic Club in Bilbao. Now, Bilbao, did you catch it? Did we get the rhyme? Feeling good? Good one?
It's bad enough with the weather.
You know what I mean?
Well, I tried. Here we go. Right, let me get into this one. So it's Arsenal obviously taking on...
Was that your intro?
Yeah.
Loved it.
That's it.
I tried.
Okay,
It was hard. This one was
do a bit better
This
than
one
that.
was hard though because there's not much links and an affiliation. Anyway, we're here in Spain. It's a 5:45 p.m. kickoff local time. That's not local time. Sorry, UK time. Here it's 6:45. Obviously here at the San Mans Stadium or Estadio San Man. I'm Spanish. Let's start with Rob. Actually, you said in the Champions League last year, you said teams we're a bit of an unknown like quantity when it comes to Arsenal because teams don't really, follow us week in, week out. So when we come to the Champions League game, they're a lot more open. We think we catch a lot of teams by surprise. We had a lot of success, especially in the early stages of the Champions League. Will that be similar come Tuesday night? Considering they would have seen the campaign of last season and they might know a little bit more about Arsenal where we started the season or not? Or do you think it'll be quite open?
Arsenal now are going to be considered like one of the real threats. I think Arsenal, if you're going to look at the Champions League this season, you're going to look at it and say that they're going to be amongst the favourites to do well in it. I mean, we got to the semi-finals last year. We lost to the team that went on to win it. And, the team that went on to win it emphatically winning the final by 5-0. And Arsenal are going to be looked upon as a serious threat in this. So, and I think with the squad that we've got, it's right to consider Arsenal as one of those teams that have a possibility of winning the Champions League. Listen, whether we win it or not, that's a different matter. But definitely we're going to be considered as one of those teams that has got a good chance of winning it because we went close last year. Yeah. So,
Lee, how does he set up? If he was the Athletic Club manager, is he going to be defensive? It's a home game. It's their first Champions League game. It's a game against Arsenal. Do you think they set up more defensively, or do they try and go for it? Do they try and make a statement against Arsenal, or would that be not wise if they?
Listen, they've got to look to win their own games, haven't they? That's what the good thing about Europe, and I think that's the one good thing about the Champions League. I think it's set up better for us than any other competition like the league, because very, very good defensively. We've got people in areas that can hurt players, hurt teams. And when you look back at last season, as Rob said, semi-final without a centre forward, without for most of those games, 4 kids that never ever actually played for Arsenal on the bench. This time around, he's got a centre forward, and also he's got players on the bench that can change things. I look back at that PSG game. We didn't have anything to change it. There was nothing. We had to just go with what we had to go with in both legs. If you look at it, when we had Thomas Partey out of the first game, this time around he's got loads of options. Defensively, we're very, very strong. So I think that the way that we play and the way that we set up will suit us in the Champions League. So I think that we've got a very, very good chance, and teams will be that little bit more wary of us because of that.
Come on then, boys. You spoke about look at the PSG game, look at the last time in Champions League. We played at Athletic Club. What was the score?
Yeah, but that's a friendly. That's a friendly.
But recently, what was the score? Do you remember it? Remember
was
it?
it 2-0?
I was in Dubai.
2-0, 3-0?
3-0. Who scored the first goal? Anyone? First goal against, we played him in a friendly.
Oh, it was Jokeres, wasn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
He
But that's a friendly. Listen, that's a friendly. I mean, I don't look at. I mean, they were very poor on that day. They were very lackluster, but they're not going to be here. I mean, I saw some of the games that they played here last year, and even though they got beaten by the British teams, they lost to Man United. obviously, no, Spurs didn't play them, but Spurs played her, innit?
Yeah.
But they lost to Man
You have to
United
mention
here. I know, that's where they got their greatest night ever. But they lost to Man United, but the atmosphere in there, I remember watching it on TV, was absolutely amazing. I remember I spoke to Flex from United View, and he said that the atmosphere in it is incredible. So what we saw, at the Emirates is not what we're going to see here. We're going to see a team that's really up for it. You know what I mean? They're in the Champions League, not the Europa League, which they was in last season. This is a huge, huge game for them, and they're playing against Arsenal. This game is absolutely massive for them. You know what I mean? They're playing one of the real big dogs of Europe, the biggest teams in European football.
So you don't think it's going to be like
their fans and everybody are going to be really seriously up for this game, and we got to be up for this. This is a big challenge tomorrow. This is a big challenge for Arsenal.
I'm quite intrigued that you said it's not going to be nothing like that, because I know it was a free-season friendly, but what? Listen, their team's not much different. If anything, they've lost. They haven't got a Nico Williams as well. Obviously, he's injured, so he's not going to be available for this game.
No, but it's a pre-season friendly.
We've got better since then. We've got better
yeah, I
since
know,
the
but if I
pre-season.
remember rightly as well, they'd only just sort of, because their season starts a bit after us. So we were more ready than them. We were coming off the back of the Tour of Asia.
Well, now we're even more ready.
But the game tomorrow is completely different. Do not even look at that at all, that friendly, because to me, this is a completely different game. And as I said, this is one of the most atmospheric stadiums in Spanish football. You know what I mean?
Can our players not handle that? They've been to the Bernabeu last year and
of course they can handle it. But what I'm saying is, do not come here, anybody, or do not any fan underestimate this game, right? Because this is one of the most atmospheric stadiums in Spain, right? And they're a good side. They're a decent side. I know they're missing
Nico
Williams, the number one player. But they're a good side. Their fans are, fans full of pride, because, we know the story of to play for this team, you've got to be from this Basque region. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this is a tough game.
Let me
to start off, innit? For your first game in the Champions League, this is a tough.
Before you go, Lee, sorry, can I just read the manager's comments after the game that they lost? They lost their last game 1-0. They lost to Alves. Let me just read this. Speaking after the La Liga defeat, the manager said in his post-match press conference, "Our primary objective is La Liga. It's competition that tells you how you're doing, and we weren't good today." So, he also kind of went on to say as well that, yes, they've got tough opposition in Champions League, but that's their primary focus, is the La Liga. I'm not coming underestimating them. I'm just saying, I don't know. I feel quite confident going into this game.
So do I.
And so you should. You're semi-finalists last season, and we're playing very, very well at this moment in time. I'll counter-attack that and don't want to be negative on that lot. But when this is the Champions League for them, we went to Lons a few seasons ago, when they was back in the Champions League, and look how that turned out. It was everybody was up for it.
You know what you equate it to, Lee? Sorry to cut into you. You know what you equate it to? Like when you've got a brand new team that's coming, like a promoted team.
When Brentford did it to us.
So like say, equivalent to like going Sunderland away on your first day of the season. Now, you're supposed to win. You've got better players than them, but they're really, really up for it. And that's what I'm saying about this game. That's going to be a similar thing that faces us.
Exactly that. Like, do you remember when we had our first Champions League game back after 5 years? Look at the atmosphere at the Emirates. It was buzzing and everything like that. So they're not easy games. The other side of it is that our two away performances so far this season have not been great. I know they've been against Man United and Liverpool, but they've not been great. So all of a sudden, put that into it. We've got to start producing better performances away from home, defending as well as what we have done in both games, and then looking a little bit more attacking. And that's what I'm looking for tomorrow. I expect us to defend well in every game we play in. But what I want to see is a little bit more attacking options. And when you look at it on Saturday, we see like the wide players doing the performances. That was at the Emirates. They've got to now transform that into away games. And listen, I think it's not going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination, and quite rightly so. It's Champions League. You expect them to be tough and all that, Am I thinking Arsenal will win? Yeah, I think that we will. But there's tests, and this is a test, and what you've got to do is you've got to come over those tests. And I would, if I'm Mikel and I'm Arsenal and I'm looking at, if you want to get in the top 8, this is a good opportunity to win one of those away games, because you've got other difficult games. Get it done early and get the result.
Let's start there. Let me go with that. Sorry, we're midway through now. Let's talk about that. Is it important that Arsenal do win this game because of the 8? If we lose this game or draw, are you too fussed because you can build straight into 8 later on, or is it a must-win?
Fussed if we lose, for definite. I mean, listen, we drew our first game last season, didn't we, like, against Atalanta, which was equally another similar game like this, where you're facing the team first time in the Champions League, and remember that one, they were right up for that as well. So this is very similar to that. If you got a draw, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? If you can get a win, like Lee says, I mean, you're off to a great start. Next game's a home game. All of a sudden, if you get 2 wins in a row, you're looking really good already in this sort of format of groups, group stage. And, it's important to try and finish as high up in that top 8 as possible, because there has been that rule change this season. That thing I moaned about last season.
He takes pride in this.
Well, a lot of people gave me stick at the time, but
you moaned about the format.
I think you was with me on it.
You were right. You were
with me on it. Like, I was like, how the hell can you finish so high up and you're playing away at the Bernabeu second leg, and you're playing away PSG second leg? Fair play to them. They've realised that was an error, and they've changed it.
And the format's good now.
What we want to do is get into that position so that if, finishing that top 8 primarily, but then when you got those games, you know that you got those second legs back at your place, because it is an advantage. It definitely is.
Now, I reminded Robbie about the goal in the pre-season friendly from Gyökeres, to kind of segue into Victor Gyökeres' conversation about, that was when he scored a header. There was doubts that he could score with his head. There's been doubts about him running the way his style of play, them scoring goals, and so far for Arsenal's done really well, Lee. In the Champions League as well, his record was really good at Sporting as well. Is it a big game for him? Is it something that you want to see him add more goals to the game? Could he be rotated out to save? I don't know. There's not really an option there, but.
Listen,
did you just keep playing him?
Every game for Victor Gyökeres now is a big game, because he's the missing piece, or what everybody thinks that he is. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not being horrible. You're centre forward. There's always that target on your back, and he can handle it. I think on Saturday against Forest, there was signs that he was a lot fitter and a lot sharper, and it proved it. I thought he was better in that game.
Yeah.
And the reason he's not perhaps been at his best is because he's not been quite fit enough. And I think people don't realise that, more games and that. He's got that under his belt now. 3 and 4 games, people go, well, you can't count that out. He scored 2 in 1 game. 3 and 4 games. That's it. That's the stat. That's how it is. Yeah. No one says about Haaland and penalties all of a sudden. Oh yeah, but Victor Gyökeres scored 1 from a penalty. Still got to take that penalty. Still got to finish
striker,
it.
Yeah.
So at the end
Salah
of the day,
scores a lot of penalties.
So at the end of it, he's done. He started off better than certain other players, you know what I mean, in this team at the moment. I see like him still getting a lot of criticism. I don't see Wirtz getting the same sort of criticism at Liverpool and everything like that. It's just one of those things that, because he's the centre forward, because he's at Arsenal, and because we've then had a centre forward for a couple of seasons, the pressure's on. And we listen, I'm going to be really honest with it. It doesn't seem to faze him.
No,
he's not been bothered about it. Listen, and I think that he's done okay for us and all that, And I think it's a working project. Robbie made a great call on my interview on the weekend. That was a completely new front three to last season, you know what I mean? And it will change and rotate on many and many occasions this season. But he's the focal point.
And that front three, all of them, if they all feature, which I guess they are going to, because we know that Saka didn't train, so it don't look like he's going to be back. All 3 of them are going to be playing in the Champions League. Well, for Arsenal for the first time. Gyökeres, that'll be his first game for Arsenal in the Champions League. Madueke, first time in the Champions League, because I think he's only played
Conference with Chelsea.
Conference, yeah. and of course Eze, first time for Eze in the, if he starts, first time for Eze in the Champions League as well. So, it's going to be big for all those 3 as well. There's 3 players that are coming into the Champions League for the first time. What I like is you've got a player like a Zubamendi, for instance, or maybe a Mikel Merino.
In Spain,
they'll be used to coming here. You know what I mean? They played down the road, didn't he, Zubamendi, and also Merino. Merino, as we know, has done well, and Zubamendi for the Spanish national team. So they're going to be well at home, and they'll know what they're going to be facing here. But and then you've got Declan Rice coming back in. He's been rested for the weekend.
We got predicted 11 video. Don't go.
Yeah, I know that. But what I'm trying to say is a lot of it. You got a whole new sort of front line that it's going to be. I mean, they go to bed tonight. They're going to be buzzing for this, aren't they? They're going to be absolutely buzzing, all 3 of them, especially Madueke and Eze. They're going to be absolutely buzzing. Eze will be looking at it thinking, this is what I came to Arsenal for these sort of nights. So
Scary as well, he come from Spain.
Let's
back here.
we'll hold off on obviously where we think it's going to play, because we're going to do a Predicted 11 video. It's going to be out on the channel. Make sure you look forward and wait for that. Just quickly before we go to score predictions, I will go to Leafs just to don't talk too much about the players that you think you're going to play, but do you think Arteta will have an eye on Man City on the weekend though when it comes to this team selection?
No,
Okay.
I don't think he will. I think this is a game. I think that there was maybe a little bit of an eye on that on Saturday, because it's Saturday, Tuesday, but it's now Tuesday to Sunday, and look, no excuses. Like when we play City are playing Thursday.
I mean, that's crazy, isn't it?
It's like, we've got a few more days extra than them, So no, I think that he'll go very, very strong, probably with not thinking about that. I think it was definitely on Saturday he did think about that. And listen, he got everything. I think that, people were quick to criticise Arteta. I was against Liverpool in the way he set up. He got everything right against Forest, leading into this game now. So, and I think that the one thing that Arteta is going to have a little bit different to the last few years is he's got a big squad now. He's got to use it properly and well. So there's decisions to be made. But I think that he'll go strong on this one. Okay,
let's get score predictions. Coming in, Robbie. What do you think the score's going to be?
Yeah, I did say, I think I did say 2-0. I think probably I'll go 2-1. It's probably going to be a bit tighter than thing, but I do think Arsenal are going to win this game. I think, that was a very good performance on the weekend. I think guys like Gyökeres could be very important in a game like this. What I liked about his goal everyone will just look on it, haters and that, and just say, yeah, it was just a tap-in. But we've seen Arsenal many, many times, right? But there's nobody in there when those balls get played in, right? And he was there, right time, right place, where a striker should be, right? And I just think he's going to get a lot of goals like that for Arsenal. And these sort of places is where we need him to be clinical, Because you may not get a lot, but if you get that ball into the box or get it up to him, or even get him in them one-on-one sort of situations, I think he's going to be dangerous. So I really fancy him tomorrow to get a goal there. I'm going to go for Arsenal winning this 2-1.
You lot are bringing me down in the airport. The people were saying, it could be 3-4 nils, and I'm thinking that's what I feel like. But you were saying 2-1 as well.
I went 2-1 as well. I'm reluctant to say that because with our defending so very good, But for me, I think at the end of the day, I'd like to say 2-0, but I'm going to say 2-1 because I think you've got to give these teams respect.
Maybe I might be in.
I've walked into, look at the stadium. It's a massive stadium. It's a big stadium. They've played 4 games in Spain, winning 3. They're up there in the top 4 or 5. So at the end of the day, I'm not. And listen, you come to these big grounds. They're going to put it on you at some stage. So 2-1. If we come out with this 2-1, look, if we come away without a clean sheet and win 2 or 3, I'll be absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, I think what helps us is the news on Nico Williams.
Not being featured.
He's a big player for them. He's a very, very good player, even though he was a bit non-existent when we played them.
Facts.
Let's have it right. We wanted him badly because he's a very good player. And many teams Barcelona wanted him. He's a top player, and him missing is going to be a big blow for them. But I just feel that we'll have enough. To win this. But like Lee says, you cannot disrespect or underestimate these teams. As I said, you saw last year at Atalanta. They gave Arsenal a really tough game for that first game. Yeah, Raya had to be on it.
I think this will be different. I don't know. Maybe I'm being naive, but I'm gonna go with 3-0. I'm gonna go with 3-0. And listen,
3-0, I think is being a bit naive.
I believe in this team.
I hope you're right, but like Lee said, we haven't really gone away from home and done that to anybody this season yet.
But saying that in Europe last season,
we were good,
5-1, and we beat.
Yeah, but Sporting was smacking teams. Come on, PSV, we was all sat there.
Early doors in the Champions League.
Do you know what, Cecil? You know what's going to be interesting actually when you make that point, right? Is that will teams like this look at that from last year?
Yeah, that's why I
say to themselves, you know what? Low block time.
Yeah, that's
that's going to be an interesting thing. Is that going to be because away from home last year we were tearing teams apart in the Champions League, so
kind of
going to be very interesting.
Very interesting, and that's why. Listen, I'm going 3-0. Let us know in the comments. You back what Robbie and Lee are saying? Is it going to be a tight KG affair? Will it be a 2-1? Or will it be a bit more, confident in the Arsenal team to get 3 goals past them? Please like the video on your way out. It's currently raining in Spain, but let's hope there's no pain come tomorrow.